questions, 5 and 6. These are about baby boomers. In life, what do boomers value most? And the second question is true or false? 4/5 of boomers plan to work at least part-time during retirement. And notice retirement has little quotations around it. Okay, what do you have for number 5? In life, what do boomers value most? What do you think? Who said that? You're right, you're right. It's work, and it's not that we don't love our families and we enjoy our friends, but we are just connected to work in a way that no other generation before or after ever has been. And so we're here on Sunday. There are a lot of boomers here on Sunday. Boomers just really like the people that they work with usually. It was fun for me to see Phyllis. We've worked together on a lot of projects too, but I bet it's been 10 years maybe since we've seen each other at least. And one of the things that's always fun for me about coming to a group where there are extension folks is I know I'm going to know a whole bunch of them because we kind of all grew up in the same working environment at the same time. And so that's one of the things that keeps boomers in the workplace. Boomers are also not retiring very early, and so who's that going to be a problem for? Gen X, and then also Gen Y eventually. And so entrepreneurship may turn out to be a very good option because you're not going to be able to even get into some of those positions and workspaces because boomers are still hanging out there. If you can help us get out of there in a nice way, I think that'll be useful. True or false, 4/5 of boomers plan to work at least part-time during retirement. True. And part of it, it's certainly underscored by the economic times, but even before the recent economic downturn, boomers were saying, yes, there's no reason for me to really retire. Maybe I'll cut back my hours, maybe I'll do a few other things. Now there are some boomers that are moving into consulting and some other kinds of entrepreneurial ventures, but it's almost always related to what their old work used to be. And that's different. For World War II generation, if they get a different job after they retire, it's something totally different. And I've had World War II generation people who have said, I'm going to go be a greeter at Walmart. Boomers would never do that. Boomers would do something that's more similar to what their work was. And we'll look at what younger generations do as well. Okay, baby boomer influences and events. We remember getting our first TV set, and so we will be the last people standing at Blockbuster when they finally throw away the last of the VHS tapes. They probably have already done that. Flower power and the Vietnam War were also kind of top of mind for us. I had a person in a bank group up in Columbus one day who said, well, flower power and free love. And I said, how do you know that? And she said, oh, I don't know it personally, just people told me that. And then she got really embarrassed, and everybody kind of looked at her, and I'm sure people were thinking, she was probably a pretty interesting adolescent. Probably not as conservative as she is as a banker. Assassination of JFK and Martin Luther King, and so we remember where we were when those things happened. Building of college dorms and also college libraries. Because baby boomer generation was so huge, colleges got excited and said, oh, we're going to have all these students, so we'll just create all sorts of buildings for them. Well, then when Generation X came along, that didn't happen because Generation X wasn't very big. And so Generation X kind of got what was left over from baby boomers, and finally then Generation Y came along, and you're huge. And so they started thinking about, oh, what can we do again? Civil rights movement, feminist movement, including Title IX. And so the whole thrust of girls' sports and so forth was a part of the baby boom generation. Okay, have you ever enjoyed snacking on M&Ms? And Skittles, I think, are even newer. I think Skittles are I know some of you have done Skittles. I think they're a Generation X snack. Eating pizza, SpaghettiOs, Fritos, and dips, okay? Dining on Frenchies or McBurgers. And is anybody here remember seeing the first McDonald's signs that said over 1 million sold, over 2 million sold? Yeah. And now they wouldn't be able to count. Drinking new Coke or Tang or instant tea. Zapping a meal in the microwave. And most of us do that on a daily basis now. Playing with a Frisbee, a yo-yo, or a hula hoop. Mr. Potato Head or a Barbie doll. And using a credit card. Imagine life before credit cards and debit cards and telephone cards. Yeah. This is kind of what we looked like when we were in home ec class, and now it's family and consumer sciences. We had big hair, we had old sewing machines. Some attributes of baby boomers as employees or customers or citizens. Instead of saving up and paying, we have a tendency to buy now, pay later, so to use plastic. Respond positively to nostalgia and tradition. And anything that we think is going to make us look or feel young is something that we're going to certainly pay attention to. We prefer natural items, and so that could be foods, etc. We want to make a positive difference, and I think that's one of the reasons we're staying in the workplace. We're staying there until we feel like we've made as much difference as we can. And baby boomers, and you can tell that from the people who are here today, baby boomers care deeply about the generations that come after them and want to make sure everything is in place for you. And so don't take it lightly when you see these adults sitting around here. They're not here just because it's kind of a fun thing to do. They're here because they really, really want to make a difference in your lives. Require the personal touch, want their time valued, and so they want somebody to say, I know you're really busy, but, and then they'll do pretty much anything, but if we're taken for granted, then we're probably not going to follow through. The view of entrepreneurship, there's kind of a recent revival of interest because baby boomers really like freedom and flexibility, and so they're, like I said, consulting and trying some kind of new kinds of ventures. Boomers grew up with proverbs, and I'm going to ask you to finish these at your table and have the younger people at the table finish them first, and then the adult can tell them what your answer is anyway. And I'll just let you read these. Absence makes the heart whatever. Good things come to those who whatever. Anybody need more time to do all four? Okay. Did she really? Did she really? Do you hang out with different generations? Yeah. Or read a lot, one or the other, or maybe both. Well, she got them all. Did anybody have other versions because you didn't know the old answers? Okay. Go stronger. I like that one. The old one was grow fonder, but grow stronger is a better one, I think. What else? What were some other alternate versions that you had? Had most people heard them before? Okay, okay. Don't judge a book by its...
Good things come to those who work hard.
Oh, good things come to those who work hard. Okay, okay. Somebody the other day tried, you can't teach an old dog new, and the old version is new tricks, but the kids who were there said new math. And so there's not really a right or wrong, there's an old and a new version though.